So, can you hear me, Mano? Madungan ka
Yes,
ninyo.
sir.
Good. Thanks, Arvin. So, our topic for today is about Bernoulli differential equation. Okay? So, it is already been posted sa inyo, ha? So, pagka ano pa, pagka 7 pa, no? Na-posted na ni Nato. Okay. So, Bernoulli differential equation. So, here. Okay. So, what is Bernoulli differential equation? So Bernoulli differential equation is just actually an extension of your linear differential equation. So it is uh, developed and designed by Jacob Bernoulli. So that's why he named it into Bernoulli differential equation. So Bernoulli differential equation is still part of the first order, first degree differential equation. Meaning, if it is still part of the first order, first degree differential equation, therefore the general form will still be m of xy dx plus n of xy dy. So same as your linear differential equation, so Bernoulli differential equation still you will identify if it's Bernoulli in x or Bernoulli in y. So sir, how to do that? So let me open first my whiteboard. So how to identify that? In linear differential equation, you could identify it by having this form, di ba? So dy over dx, we have dy over dx, y p of x, then q of x. That is for linear and y. So in Bernoulli differential equation is partly like that. But instead, it's just q of x. There is a variable y that is present in your other side, on your right side, on the equal sign. Instead, now it's all x. You will see variables, other variables rather than x. Okay. If you see that one, so for example, your standard form is same like this, dy over dx plus y, p of x. But the equal sign on the right side have two variables, then you cannot use linear differential equation. You need to first do the Bernoulli differential equation. So this is just, as again, this is just an extension of your linear DE. So what you need to do? So first thing you need to do is to eliminate that unknown term or known variable that belongs or that is multiplied or that is with your q function. After that, dividing both sides or all sides, so you will end up like this. Okay, so this one, dy over ds, will be divided with y raised to the power of n, the one that we should not or should not be present here. This one too, divide and your q of x. So therefore, you will end up with y raised to the power of negative n. Why? Because your y raised to the power of n, if you transpose this one, that is just y over y raised to the power of n dy over dx. So, giwa na to ang fraction. So, 1 over y raised to the power of n, that is just equal to y raised to the power of negative n. So, same na sila. So, why did we do this? Because in order for us later sa pag-derive, mas madali ta. Okay. And this one, obviously, y over y raised to the power of n, it's obviously this one, y raised to the power of 1 man siya, divide, so meaning that is minus the power of the one that is in the denominator. And then the rest. After that, this one, the one beside your p of x or your function of p, with regards if it's linear, Bernoulli in x or Bernoulli in y, the one that is beside your function of p will be your m. So again, you could use any variable names. Others use u, other book use m, or you could use v. It depends on you. But the my reference and foreign reference mostly use m or u. So let's make it standard. Let's use m. So your Rm is just y raised to the power of 1 minus n. After that, this m should be derived. Okay? I-derive ni mo na. So, therefore, that is dm. I-derive ni mo ang m, that is dm over, if you look at the given, it is with respect to x. Diba? Aning babaw? Dx. So, therefore, that is also dx is equal to, derive ni mo ni siya. Okay? After that, how will you derive y raised to the power 1 minus n. 1 minus n is just a constant. So, multiply it in the front, then minus 1. So, 1 minus 1, that is 0. Therefore, ang power na mabilin is just raised to the power of negative n. From there, ang target nato ani guys is, if you look here, our target by solving this part, kanang y raised to the power of 1 minus n, ang target nato is to replace this one in front, the first one, the first term. So if you could look here, y raised to the power of negative n over multiplied by dy over dx, this is just the first term. So what we'll do is just to transfer 1 minus n, because that is just a constant, to the other side. So therefore, you have already something that you could replace with your y raised to the power of negative n dy over dx. So kini, divide na to. So therefore, y raised to the power of negative n dy over ds is just equal to your dm over dx 1 minus n. So, since they are equal, you could just replace the first term, this first part, with your dm over dx over 1 minus n. So, muna siya, gi-replace na nato siya. So, replacing that one, you will have, and then after that, copy na the rest. So, if you could see, here, it becomes like this. But again, since this one is not still like your dy over dx, diba? Linear. So what we need to do is make it dm over dx lang. Okay. So in order to eliminate this, 1 minus n is just like a constant, like 1 minus 2. Nga na. So you multiply it with the same constant para ma-eliminate nimo. So, ma-divide sila. So, mabili na lang is dm over dx. Obviously, this one also and also the q should be multiplied. So, after that, pag multiply na nimo, since ma-identify naman nimo, so na-separate na, mura nag dy over dx, dm over dx na lang siya. So, y, since dm nimo is y man, di ba? Ang m nimo is y man. So, n 1 minus n p of x equals 1 minus n q of x. So therefore, we call now this as qptx, the 1 minus n p of x. Your qtx is the one on this other side which don't have wala na kay other variable. So mao na target nato. So and then we do the same linear differential equation na pamaagi. So after that, you get the integrating factor and substitute it here. What's different here is that instead this is y or x, since we use m, no? We use m. So oops. Since we use m, therefore that should be m. since we use m, okay, here, since we use m here, therefore, what is the value of m should be multiplied here. Then the same gapon, multiply with integrating factor, integrate the function of q, then multiply by integrating factor dx plus c. So let's try an example for linear in Bernoulli in y. So let's try this one. Okay, so that is how you derive first, or the steps in solving the Bernoulli differential equation. Now let's try an actual example. Okay, so let's say example 1. So that is dy over dx plus y 2 over x equals 3y cubed x squared. Okay, so let's try solving this together. Okay, so please look if not tayo malipat. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is, since this is already in standard form, dy over dx, di ba? So at first we could look, okay, that is already linear in y. But in this case, if this is linear y, so therefore this is your p of x. And dapat kini si q of x. But what happened, since we said q of x, dapat si y should not be present here. But since y is present here, therefore that is, what do you call this one? Bernoulli and, what is this? Bernoulli and, that is Bernoulli and y. So what you need to do is to eliminate this one, so that puro x lang mabilin, divide it with y cube. So dividing this with y cube will give you dy over dx over y cube, di ba? Plus y divided by y cube, since ano man na sila, so 2 over x equals 3. Mawa na ni si y cube over y cube, that is 1. So x squared na lang. After that, simplify this one. So arrange this one, becomes dy over dx, di ba? This one could be, if that is over 1, when transpose, that is 1 over y cube, di ba? So plus, that is y, this one raised to the power of 1 man, no? Then this one is 3. So since that is denominator, minus 3. Then 2 over x. So that is obviously 1 over y squared. So i-minus din mo na siya, so man-negative. So 3x squared. So from here, since this is reciprocal, I could make this one as y raised to the power of negative 3. Same lang man na sila. Okay? So dy over dx. Okay. From there, plus, so 1 minus 3, that is y raised to the power of negative 2. Or 1 over y squared. Di ba? Pareha na sila. So 2 over x equals 3x squared. Karon, okay, since naka-identify man ta ani, this one is very important. Ayon ni kalimti. Okay? Kay later, mani ang substitutan nato ning terma. Okay? Dapat mapulihan nato ning first term. Okay? Importante na siya. So, from there, we need to get our m. And our m is this one. That is our m. So, therefore, our m is equal to pila? That is y raised to the power of negative 2. So, the next thing you need to do is to derive this one. So, therefore, derivative of m with respect to, remember, that is over dx. So dx equals, so we need to derive this one. So y over dx. Therefore, what is the derivative of y raised to the power of negative 2? Anyone? Y raised to the power of negative 2.
Negative 2y, sir.
Negative 2y. Negative 2y. 2y ra?
Raised to the power of negative 3, sir.
Raised to the power of negative 3. So that basically that is dy over dx, because y of this, derive this one, that is negative 2y raised to the power of 3 dy, mano, over dx. So dx. Therefore, we could make it as dm over dx is equal to negative 2 y raised to the power of negative 3 dy over dx. And look here, okay? Diba, our first term here is just like this one without the negative 2, di ba? So, negative 2 is just the 1 minus n. Katong pag, ano na to, derive na to, 1 minus 2. So, therefore, if we transfer negative 2 to the other side, that is already the y raised to the power of negative 3 dy over dx. So, let's try. So, therefore, we have dm over dx over negative 2. So, transferring it to the other side. So, since this is multiply, it becomes division. So, equals y cubed dy over dx. So, karon, yaman ini. Okay. So, kini, we just simply substitute, oh, negative 3, kalimata. That is negative 3. So, simply replace this one with dm over dx over 2. Okay? So, since equal naman na sila, so, therefore, your, this one becomes dm over dx, sorry, divided by negative 2. Then, copy the remaining, plus y negative 2 times 2 over x equals 3x squared. Okay. From there, what will remain? We could simplify this one, di ba? So, from here, in order to make it dm over dx lang, murag linear, dapat mawa ni si negative 2, di ba? So, multiply both sides with negative 2. Tanan jud na side. So, negative 2 times negative 2, bale, ma 1. So, ang mabili na lang is dm over dx plus y raised to the power of negative 2. Negative 2 times 2, that is negative 4 over x equals 3 times negative 2, that is negative 6x squared. Okay. Now, this is your Bernoulli na form. But this is not yet the answer. So, now we could get our function of p. We call that one as ptx na. So, it's an evolved version of linear DE. So, what is our p function of p or ptx? Pila may value sa ptx na to? Guys, anyone?
Negative 4.
Negative? Anyone?
Negative 4 over.
Good. Good, Glidel. Okay. Negative 4. Good, Roel. Negative 4 over x. Then our q, okay, very good. May Chris. Okay, negative 6x squared. Since we already have these two, since we have these two, we could solve for our integrating factor. Diba? We know man, ang saan pag-solve ng integrating factor is just simply exponential raised to the power of p, function of p. Since our p now is ptx, you just integrate that one. So, e raised to the power of integral negative 4 over x dx, or just simply e raised to the power of negative 4 integral of dx over x. So therefore, you have e raised to the power negative 4 ln of x. So you have e raised to the power of ln x raised to the power of negative 4. This becomes 1. Therefore, your integrating factor will be equal to x raised to the power of negative 4. So, need to remember this one. These are the things that we'll be using sa atoang general solution. Okay. So, since na-identify na nato ng tulo, we could solve for general solution. Okay. So, that's a general solution. So, general solution. So, general solution nato sa ato ang linear differential equation, 'di ba? Kunyari, may tag linear in y, that is y times integrating factor equals integral of q of x times integrating factor dx plus c. In this case, this is for linear in y. So, pag may tag Bernoulli in y, it's just since we are using m, remember? So, we're using m here. So, we use our m. So, m dot multiply gapon same integrating factor equals q, ours is qtx na, qtx same na gapon times integrating factor dx plus c, and then we just substitute. What is our m? Y raised to the power of negative 2. So that is y raised to the power of negative 2. Integrating factor is x raised to the power of negative 4. Qtx, that is integral of negative 6x squared multiplied with x raised to the power of negative 4, no, integrating factor dx plus c. Obviously, we could simplify this further using algebra, this one, so that walay, pwede ra na as is like that, or walay negative. So, let's try this one first, negative 2. So, unahon na to ang highest power, negative 4, y negative 2 equals negative 6. We have x squared. And since multiply man siya, no? So, plus negative 4. So, ang power niya na 2, since multiply man na sila, plus negative 4 dx plus c. So, therefore, you have x raised to the power of negative 4, y raised to the power of negative 2 equals negative 6. Integral of x raised to the power of negative 2, no? Okay, 2 minus 4, that is negative 2 dx plus c. So, we could integrate na ni. So, power rule ra ni. Negative 4 y negative 2 equals 6 negative. That is x raised to the power of negative, no, that is not negative 3, because that is plus 1 man, no? So, negative 1. Sakto ba? Negative 2 plus 1, that is negative 1. So, over negative 1 plus c. Therefore, the negative here or negative here becomes positive. So, x raised to the power of 4, y raised to the power of negative 2 equals negative negative. You have 6. Positive na siya. x raised to the power of negative 1 plus c. You could have this one, or you could make it like this. 1 over x raised to the power of 4, y raised to the power of 2. Ano, para wala yung negative power. Pwede ra po ni. Then, 6 over x, because this one is just 1 over x, plus c. Okay? You can have any of this as your general solution. Okay. Let's check now. Okay. What's the answer? Okay. Okay. So, we got the correct answer. So, question for this. Question. Therefore, this will be your general solution. Okay? Some question. Any question? Wala? Okay? Any questions? So, no questions? So, I assume nakasabot mo ha. Nanapod ba yung question? Glidel, wakay question Glidel, nakaapas lang. Donald, wakay question Donald. Ken, Sheena, Sherville, Stephen, Joshua, Makers. Wala ra. Okay, good. Wala ra. Sige. Karon, so ang kalahian ra jud niya is sa Bernoulli ug sa linear is pagkakita nimo sa given equation kung ang given ako kay pareha gyapon ha, mura ra gud pud sa katumag quiz ta, i-fraction ako, i-divide na ako, nya na. So, maura dyan na, literally. Tapos, i-arrange na ninyo. Tapos, pag-arrange ninyo sa linear NX, sa form, kung may mo siyang Bernoulli, or may mo ba siyang linear, or exact, or variable separable na siya dito, naan na ninyo. Or, worst comes to worst, gamitan ninyo Como. Okay. So, from there, you need to identify from the given kung unsa ang gamiton. Okay? So, that is for Bernoulli for of y. So for Bernoulli in x, it's the same as linear, the same steps gapon, walay na usab since x ang natapo, x po ang i-divide. Then same process, okay? So u or m ba gamiton nimo or unsa. Okay, so let's try this example. Example 2. So example 2 is dx over dy plus x multiplied by 3 4x squared e raised to 9. Okay, again, bisan pa na siya na exponential, normal x and y, trigonometric, logarithmic, bisag unsa pa na siya, same steps lang gyapon ha. Siguro ang inyuha lang is dapat nakaibaw mo unsa ang pag-derive ni sine, ni cosine, and etc. Okay? Ni exponential po unsa kanyo pag-derive og ni mga logarithmic, di ba? Like the last time. Okay. So from here, we know that if not for this y, it should be linear, no? Kung wala pa ni siya, linear dapat na siya. So, what should be done? So, therefore, this is Bernoulli in x. Okay? So, clearly, Bernoulli in x ni siya. So, you could try rearranging this one po kung pwede ba siya exact. Mailhan man na ninyo. So, from here, what we need to do is obviously divide it with x raised to the power of 4. So divide that one, it will give you dx over dy all over x raised to the power of 4 plus x over x raised to the power of 4 multiplied by 3 equals, obviously x raised to the power of 4 over x raised to the power of 4 is 1, sorry. So that is e9y na lang ang mabilin. From there, I will not, it is just like 1 over x raised to the power 4 multiplied by dx over dy plus, that is x raised to the power of 1 minus 4, then times 3 equals 4e raised to the power 9y. So here, this reciprocal could be equal to this one, okay? Dx over dy plus x raised to the power of negative 3. So multiplied by 3 equals 4e raised to the power of 9y. So from here, this will be our m or u, or depending on u. Okay? So that is our x raised to the power of 3. So need to remember this one because later on, the first part will be substituted. So x raised to the power of negative 3. So from there, you need to derive it. Ang sa man with respect to y na. Okay, dili na x. So that is dy equals derivative of x raised to the power of negative 3 over dy. So therefore, just derive this one. That is negative 3x raised to the power of negative 3 plus negative 3 minus mano, negative 3 minus 1, that becomes negative 4 over, that is derivative of x over derivative of y because here you derive it with respect to x. Tapos, from here, if you could look, the step is repetitive. So, mamatikdan dyan mo kanunay nga this one is higher with the other power with 1. Okay? So, this is negative 4, this is negative 3. Okay? So, nadyo na usa kay pag-derive nimo mo equal man jud ni dapat ani sa pikas. So, from there, your dm over dy is equals to negative 3 x raised to the power of negative 4 dx over dy. Then, we know that from here, this part is just like the first term. Therefore, we could just substitute. Okay? Substitute. Okay? Therefore, we have here x, this one, uh, transfer pa dahil nato si ano, dm over dy over this negative 3. So negative 3 equals x raised to the power of negative 4 dx over dy. So substitute na nato. So this one is equivalent to, kinesiya, is just equivalent to dm over dy over negative 3. Then copy. Copy all of it. X raised to the power of negative 3 multiplied by 3 equals 4e raised to the power of 9y. So from there, okay? So from here, what we do is just to simplify it further. Since we don't want to have a denominator here, we just want to have dm over dy. So multiply both sides with negative 3. All sides ha, dili pwede lang kinuunhan lang. Kay kinuunhan, marunong na ka. Dm over dy plus negative 3 here. So copy. So it becomes negative 3 times 3, that is negative 9, equals negative 3 times 4, that is negative 12, e raised to the power of 9y. So from there, you could get your p function of p, which is ptx, which is equal to negative 9, while your qtx will equal to negative 12 e raised to the power of 9y. So from here, since we already have ptx, we could solve for, so this one, these are the important things to remember because sa general solution, gamito nato ni siya. Kini. Okay. So, then, si integrating factor na lang kuwang nato para makasolve sa general solution. So, e raised to the power of integral of p dx dx. Therefore, your e, ptx is just 9, negative 9 dx. Therefore, you have e raised to the power of negative 9 integral of dx is just equal to, integrating factor is just equal to e raised to the power of negative 9x. So, yun eh. So, nanata sa tulo. Therefore, makasolve na ta ni General Glidel.
Ang sa concept note sir kay PTY sir dili
Ay, yeah.
PTX.
Okay. PTY. Since this is y naman din, no? Okay. That is just PTY. QTY. Y. This is Y. That is 9Y. Okay. So, 9Y, yeah. Since linear, Bernoulli in X na siya. So, this should be Y. Okay. So, good. Thanks, guys. So, a negative 9 gihapon. So, mao lang gihapon ang answer except for the Y. Okay. So, after that, since we already solved for the three terms, so we have to solve the general solution. So since we use still m, so therefore our m is multiplied with integrating factor is equals to q t of y times integrating factor dy plus c. So our m is here x raised to the power of negative 3. So that is x raised to the power of negative 3. Integrating factor is e raised to the power of negative 9y equals, ang q na to is negative 12, e raised to the power of 9y. Integrating factor is e raised to the power of negative 9y dy plus c. So, so from here, you have x 3 e raised to negative 9y equals, move the constant. So, e raised to the power 9y minus e raised to the power 9y becomes pilaman. What's the result?
1, sir.
1. So, di ba? E raised to the e raised to the power of 0. Di ba? dy plus c. Or this just be equal to anything that is raised to 0 is equal to 1. Okay? So therefore, that is just, okay, negative 12 integral of dy plus c. So therefore, that is just simply negative 12 y plus c. You could have it like this already, or you could simplify, you could make it like this. Okay, wala na yung negative. Equals negative 12y plus c. Okay? Any of this will be your general solution. Okay? Question. Thanks, guides. Ganiha. Thanks. Wala ko kabantay sa y. So,
Sir,
glides. Check daw na to. Sakto ba? Sakto ba answer na to?
Santara, sir.
Okay. So, glides. Question, glides.
Sa Bernoulli, sir, kay same ba siya sa homogeneous, sir, nga na siya lisod nga form sa Bernoulli X or Bernoulli Y
Mm,
or
na ay na ay possibility glides. Kay pag rearrange man gud nimo glides na iuban niya mahimo siyang fraction napoy ano mo nang kung naa kay nakita na kung mahimo dili siya ma-fraction ma one line na bitaw siya kabantay ka aning kani sila kunyari sa mga given nato mara man siya obviously dy over dx is fraction pero kini sila as much as possible ma one line lang nimo then that is much better. Kay naiuban man gud na over na maubiran pa ani like for example e raised to the power of 2x siguro nga na. So mas lisod siya. So it's part of you sa rearranging sa pag-rearrange sa inyong mga equations. So magdaog yun na sa pag-arrange rearrange niyo again. Igor adyo na ko i-rearrange yung mga questions ninyo para hindi mo mag-nosebleed. Para mag-nosebleed mo, bali di ay no. Di ba ito? Para matest inyo hang mathematics. Okay? Okay, I think nakasabot naman mo sa akong differential equation. Nakagets na mo. Naglisod na lang mo pag usbo na nako ang porma, no? Pero kung ibalik siya nako sa original form niya, okay ra, dali ra nyo sabtan. Pero kung nara ko ipang transpose sa pikas, so lisod na siya kayo i-troubleshoot, no? So, again, guys, next week is your midterm exam naman, no? Kaibaw naman mo, no? Our midterm exam is a whole week, meaning Monday, Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, are allotted for your minor subjects. So, the schedule will be posted this week sa siguro sa sa dean's office kung kanus ang mga exam ninyo. Ang exam nato will not follow our schedule of classes ha. Na yung mga gipang plot adto kanong sa ang schedule nyo and your exam will be good for 3 hours. All of the subjects will be good for 3 hours. Okay? So, is this your first time na maka-departmental exam? Ha? Guys?
Yes, sir.
So, the exam will be
Yes, sir.
good for 3 hours. So, ato ang sa ako alang, so mag-agad ko kung unsang schedule ang gibutang sa So, na-schedule ana na mostly 3 exams per day radyo na siya. Mostly kay 8:30 to 11:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. Okay. Then start na po na siya og 1:30 to 2:30, 3:30 to 4:30. Tapos start naman siya 5:30, 6:30 to 7:30 to 8:30. Depende na siya sa unsay plano ni Ma'am Dean sa pagplot. Pero mag-agad ta adto. Na time, na schedule, ana. So by Wednesday mag face to face man ta, makakita na mo sa schedule. And by Wednesday, 'di ba, as I've told you sa una, before I gave a midterm exam, I gave a diagnostic exam. A diagnostic exam is will be a preparation for your midterm exam na departmental. Kaya para hindi mo makuratan, okay? Para maka-adjust dayon mo. So, departmental exam is the same coverage with your midterm exam. So, kanang work diagnostic exam is the same coverage as your midterm departmental exam. So, the coverage again is from the beginning until the last discussed topic. So, in our case, that is Bernoulli differential equation, ang last discussed topic. Okay? So, last discussed topic. So,
So karong Wednesday sir kay mag
di-
evaluation exam ta sir.
mag-diagnostic exam ta. So, it is still graded.
Diagnostic.
Graded na siya. So, mura good siya sa quiz ninyo, pero ang coverage niya is the same sa midterm from the beginning until the last topic. Okay? So to overview with the exam, I will be giving you problems, maybe like for example, four problems. So 1 hour man, no, for four problems. So expected you to solve four problems. With that four problems, I will not tell you what methods to use. Okay, so you need to use your third eye. Okay, to know what is the proper method to use on that equation. So you need to really practice identifying what method to use for a certain differential equation nga given. Okay? Ha? So, mana siya for the midterm nato. Then, next week, ano na ta dayon? Kanang, yup, true, Donald. It is possible. It is possible, Donald. Naay possibility. Pero, dili jud pwede magdungan si Bernoulli o si Linyar. Okay? Kaya si Bernoulli, lahi ra jud ni Linyar. So, posible, si Exact. Okay? Again, matest man ninyo kung si pwede siya ni Exact or dili siya pwede ni Exact. Di ba? So, you prove first if that is Exact DE. Okay? So, inag midterm exam, di mo mamproblema sa time. Taas kayo ang inyong time. Okay? So, yeah, I will just inform you for with the coverage for the style sa midterm exam. Inika face to face na nato or either on Friday ba. Okay? Any questions? Sir, example, sir. So, there are more examples on the book again. So, much better ato mo pangita og example, solve ba to ninyo. May mga answer sa likod sa book, mas better. So, yeah. So, mamonitra siguro ko ato anywhere from those books. So, di ko ka promise nga kung asang book, basta manguting kay ra ko adto. Okay? So kung maka ano mo, mas better solve ninyo to ng problem. Okay? Any more questions? Wala na. So Again, nag-improve naman po ang inyong mga results, no? Nag-improve na. And hoping na magsige pa na siya improve pa. Okay? Para makaano, mas ma-improve pa ang inyong scores po o grades. Okay? No more questions na? Wala na other questions? Wala na, guys? If no questions na, so I think I'll need to end the class na since we're already 4:30. Okay? Sige.